Alright, welcome back to part 3, the final part of this wonderful little oil painting. All we have left is the silhouette of this person and a lovely red umbrella. That's it, and then we're finished. I might touch up a few little bits here and there, maybe change some of the colour, but I'm pretty happy with this so far. What do you think? I think this looks very dramatic, doesn't it? Very, very dramatic. I'm going to take a very small pointy brush, a rigger brush as it's called, and we're going to draw the outline of the silhouette first, okay? I'm just going to take a bit of black, lots of thinners, lots of black, and I think it's safer to go with an outline first and then fill that in, rather than just going in there and trying to do it all at once, in case we make a little mistake. So let's start with the person's, let's go around the middle here where the waist is roughly, isn't it? So it kind of goes out like that slightly and then in. Okay, this may take a few attempts now, okay? It comes out and it comes down. You see how my white paint is still wet? So it is still, it's still wet, all of this paint. Again, I don't want to go too wide, so if I make a mistake, I can just, if I make a mistake, I can fix it, okay? You know, it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. We can fix little mistakes, can't we? Let's do the legs, okay? So we're going to come down like this. I'm going to come out like this and down to a point. Let's do the same for the other one. It's tricky, isn't it? It's, you know, it's trial and error. I find a lot of this stuff is trial and error. What do you think? So now it may look a bit wide, so we can kind of rub some of this away if we need to. Okay. It is a coat anyway, so we might get away with it. It's a jacket at the end of the day, isn't it? So we have an elbow. We have an elbow coming out around here, don't we? And then the arm comes up like that. We have another one that comes down like this, and then it turns. A little bit of a gap in there, tiny, tiny gap. Okay, it comes up into the umbrella. It turns here. And there we go. I'm going to fill all of this in, I think. I'm going to fill this in now with black. Let me get a small brush. A small little brush. Let's get thick black on its own. I have a dry brush, thick black paint. Let's fill this in as best we can, yes? So at least we know it's going to cover properly. There we go. Look, you can kind of make this your own as well, if you wish. I'll reinstate that little light in under the arm later. Okay, so we have that rough shape. I need to get another small brush, little kind of a little pointy detail brush, but not very pointy. Just fill in the legs here. It's all one, isn't it? It goes right down to one little point. Okay, so we can make them a little bigger if we need to, a little wider. I don't know. We can mess around with this. There's no problem there. Let's just pretend that, give the impression of shoes or something at the end of it. You know what I mean? Let's fill this in. Look, if we feel we've made a mistake, we can fix this. There's no problem. You see that little line, for example? We can fix that quite easily. Let's just take a bit of light bluey colour, a bit of white, and let's just go down over that. There, fixed. Now, I'm just going to pick my brushes up. They fell on the floor. It's very, very warm in the studio today. So we have that part done. The next part is this lovely umbrella. Bright, bright red umbrella. Again, I'm going to use cadmium red, lots of thinners, just to put in the outline. I much rather put in an outline now than go with a brush then go straight on with a brush. Let's just start here. Let's go like this. Okay, little curve. And there's a little curve coming like this as well. Okay. I don't want to go too wide with this and too big, you know what I mean? It's very difficult to know. It's very difficult to know when you're going too big with all of this. I don't want to overpower the painting with this. I'm going to pick a point up here where I think it should be the top, all right? Then I'm going to kind of swoop down like that. I'm going to come over like that and then out like this. There we go. Do another one here. And then swoop over again down like that. Now, how does that look? I think not too bad. I am pretty happy with that. So let's get our small flat brush. Any flat brush you have will do absolutely fine. And I'm just going to fill this in now with thick cadmium red. Now, look, I'm stuttering. There is one issue. All of this white in here, that is still wet. If you want to leave your one dry, you can. Ultimately, it would be great if this was all dry, but it's still wet. So I'm going to take a dry brush and try to scrape off some of that white in there, that kind of a bluey shade, as much as I can, just to get some of the paint off the canvas, all right? I think that will help when we're putting on the red, because I don't want to dilute my red. I want it to be a nice solid colour. Do you understand what I mean? So let's get a small flat brush like this. I think is fine. Go right into thick cadmium red. Let's just start filling this in. It goes a little behind up there, and there's a little one here. I'm going to fill that in. Maybe go around the outline first. How about that? We could try that, couldn't we? Don't worry if you pick up some of your black, it's absolutely fine. And then we can go like this. Then there's another one here, and another one here. I fix my lines then later on with my pointy brush, okay? But I'm just kind of concentrating now on this, just getting it all filled in. Once we have the main shape done, I'll be happy enough with that, okay? So a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, come out and maybe a bit more with that one over here, and maybe come out a little bit more with that one here and here, okay? Now, fill all of this in. Then we're going to have the different shades of the spines. So if you look, you'll see we have spines on this, don't we? I'm going to take my small pointy brush, okay, smallest one, a little black with some cadmium red. So you end up with kind of a dark browny shade. I am going to pick the center point first, where I think the center of the umbrella is up there, and come down then and suggest some spines on this. I think that's what they're called, isn't it? It's just simply the frame of the umbrella. So we'll bring these right down to the corners, curves, nice curves, like so. So at least then we can see each section. Would you agree? And we have another one up here, comes like that. I'm just trying to make sure I give these a nice curve. We have another one here, and we have two more up on top. Now, I think that's okay. The next thing you'll notice is little bits of shading. As we get down on the bottom, it gets a bit darker, doesn't it? So again, I'm taking a little bit of black into the cadmium red, just for a little bit of shading around the bottom. And what I'm going to do is flick this colour upwards. Like that. You see that? I'm just giving it little flicks in each section. And that's just a nice little effect, isn't it? So you can see now that acts as a nice little separator in the different sections, doesn't it? And I'm just letting it fade away as it comes up. That looks quite nice already, doesn't it? But on the top, we have a lighter area, don't we? I might try and get some light up there. I'll try some cadmium red, little Naples yellow, just to give us a light red, a kind of a light pinky red, just for a bit of highlight up on top. So let's go up here, bring that down, a little bit there, maybe add a bit of white into that actually, just so it's more of an impact. Okay, like so. A little bit here, perhaps, coming out, a little bit there. Then I'll take my very small pointy brush again. I'm going to put a very whitey blue up on the very tops of these, just to give a real nice highlight, okay? Just a small highlight, you know what I mean? Now, I think that's absolutely fine. We also have, around the edges of this, we have a very dark line as well, just around these edges here. A little bit of cadmium red with a little black. And I think that just defines them a little better, doesn't it? Okay, now I'm going to accentuate the little spines on this, just around the middle. So I'm going to put a little black around the center, like so. Just a little bit coming out and stopping. Then we have the center piece coming up, just a black piece. Like so. Okay. And what I want to do in this, it's not on the photograph, but what I like to do is take a tiny bit of black with a bit of red, okay? Again, dark colour. And I like to show the silhouette of the person's head through the umbrella, showing through. So look, if I put a dark colour just here, just very gently, okay, you see that? Doesn't that give a nice impression of the person's shadow behind the umbrella? I think that looks quite good. I think it's a nice effect. So I'm just going to do that, little kind of a circle, half circle, something like that, just a little bit of a shadow, you know what I mean? And I think that's the umbrella finished. All we need to do is bring a shadow down from the feet. So let's get a little bit of black, and I'm going to try some magenta, a nice deep blacky kind of a pink shade. I'm just going to go like this, okay? Maybe a bit darker. Look, you could probably just use black if you wanted, okay? And just let that disappear down. Then soften some of that colour outwards here and there. Finally, I might give a hint of a deep red, a kind of a purpley pinky red, okay? Just along here. Maybe to suggest the umbrella, that's all, okay? It's the tiniest little bit, look. And now what I'm going to do, now I will darken the feet a bit. I'm just going to soften first, soften the umbrella upwards or downwards, whichever way you like. Bring it across, bring that dark shadow down and soften it in. I'm going to darken the shadow a little bit. It needs to be a bit darker, doesn't it? I think it does. Much darker. Let's just go right into some black. Come on, let's do this. Let's do a nice job on this. let's just make this impactful, okay? Let's make a nice impact with this, come on. It doesn't have to be perfect, does it, really? I don't think it does. Let's just continue the feet right down. And I'm happy enough with that. I'll be honest, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to soften all of this in to the road. And maybe just cut across ever so slightly to soften it outwards into the roadway. Just to give that fuzzy effect. Do you understand what I mean? That's all it is. A little bit of a fuzzy effect. Let's just bring this down here and down here. I might just add a little detail at the feet. So a little bit of a lip to suggest little boots or something like that, you know what I mean? Anything, it can be anything at all. Okay, now how are we looking? That's not bad. There is one or two little items I want to finish and touch up. That is the colour of these yellows here. I need them to be a little bit more on the softer side. I'm going to take some magenta with Naples yellow, hint of cadmium red perhaps. I need these to be a little bit on the softer side, so a little bit of this peachy colour perhaps through some of this look. Just a touch here and there, just to get rid of some of the rich yellow shade that's going on. Just a little. Now, I think that's a bit better. I'm happy with that. It has dried in slightly here and there, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Just soften them away. And my friends, I think I'm going to call this finished. I am quite happy with this. Very, very happy, in fact. It's all about how far you want to go with this. It's completely up to yourself, really. There is a little bit of light showing through the arm, just here. Okay, like that. And maybe a little bit under there as well. So you see, you can touch up little bits here and there if you like. And I think that is not too bad at all. I'm fairly happy with that. I might just widen down here a little and up here, okay, like so. I think that's a bit better as well. And I might just add a splash of cadmium red. Now you could even add cadmium red with a splash of yellow as well. You could really go for a nice bright, rich, bright colour in here if you want. Just make sure and soften them down, that's all you have to do. Are we finished, my friends? I'm thinking we might be finished. There's no need to keep going at this. I don't think we need to. You can, if you like, just add little hints of, you know, a bit of colour here and there. It's completely up to yourself if you want to do that. I would be afraid of overdoing this for fear of spoiling it. You know what I mean? Spoiling what we have. I would just be slightly apprehensive and not going too far with all of this. So just be careful not to spoil what you have, because that can happen very quickly. One mark in the wrong place can ruin this for you slightly. So I'm going to call this finished, my friends. I'm very happy with this. I would say thank you so much for joining me. And I would also say, let me know what you think about this. And please do feel free to leave a comment or whatever you like. Just tell me what you think. And if you're trying this at home, if you have any questions at all, just ask, okay? Don't be shy. Just ask. If you have any concerns, any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Just send me an email or leave a comment. I hope you've enjoyed. I have really enjoyed painting this. It was refreshing just to grab a palette knife and go to town, and, you know, brushes, just very loose shapes. It was very refreshing. And once that's framed, I think it's going to be a very nice eye-catching painting. A nice bright white frame around that, or something, or black even. That's a nice eye-catching painting, and I do hope I didn't overcomplicate it for you too much. I hope I tried to simplify it for you as much as I could. So just remember, be nice and loose and free, and don't concentrate too much on details. Just little marks with the knife or the brush, just very randomly, and it will come together. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I apologise that it took 3 tutorials to do this painting, but it's been so hot here at the moment. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and it's so hot I can't really sit for long and paint for very long periods. So I just broke it down into 3 simple little tutorials. All right, do subscribe if you haven't done so. Give me a like, leave a comment. I would love to see your comments on this type of painting. I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. God bless and happy painting.